Hello everyone, today I'm going to be ranking the different game modes on the Hive. I'm going to be doing this by ranking them from worst to best. As well as this, they're also going to be put into different categories by me, them categories being from F to C to A+, so on. And yeah, but this is all going to be from my point of view. These are my opinions only, so yeah, feel free to argue with my opinions in the comments. And yeah, I'll be ranking these based on how fun they are to play, difficulty, all that, and all of this from a mobile player's perspective. So without further delay, let's get onto the video. Okay, starting off in the F tier, we only have 2 game modes, and the one at the bottom of my list being survival games at number 13. Now, this may be a very unpopular opinion of mine. However, I absolutely detest survival games. In not just the Hive, in all game modes, in all servers, I don't like survival games. I don't like the concept of survival games. It's basically just Sky Wars, but on the floor, but still I don't like it. As you can see, I'm only level 2. That's probably because I don't play this game very often, because of how bad of a game it is, in my opinion. And yeah, not just because I'm on mobile and I'm bad at PvP, but because I really just don't like this game. I'm bad at it. I'm not really entirely sure how it works, and I really just cannot get anywhere with it. I will not play this game. The only time I'll play this game because I'm doing this for a video. Apart from this, you're never gonna see me play survival games again. Staying on the topic of bad games, we have Ground Wars in number 12. Ground Wars is a bad game, and in my opinion, obviously, but for a solid reason. As you can see, I'm level 1. I've not played this game since it's been brought back. But I don't like this game because of how it is, really. It's a bit boring. A bit's probably an understatement. I don't really see how anyone would like this game. In my opinion, this just isn't that good of a game. Because, well, of just how it works. This game takes an extremely long time to finish. And just it's not addictive at all. I'll probably end up playing 1 or 2 rounds of it at most and then just stop playing. Now moving on to the E tier, we only have 1 game in this category, it being Hide and Seek, coming in at rank number 11. The reason I put this so low on the list, again, it's quite a boring game. Whether you're Seeker or Hider, I really think there's no fun in it. If you're a Seeker, you spend half of the game hitting blocks until you actually find something. And if you're a Hider, well then again, you spend the whole game sitting in one place, doing nothing, or taunt if you really wanted to. Apart from that, there's really nothing else in this game. It also takes a long time as well, 5 minutes per match, which in reality, it's not really that long in this game. However, it's just not the funnest game when we take everything into consideration. Now moving on to the D tier, again only with 1 game, will be Capture the Flag in number 10. The reason this is so low is, again, because of how long this game could take. It takes 15 minutes, and the concept of this game really just sort of slows it down. All you do really is fight people over and over again with no real progress apart from just, I don't know, gradually getting better stuff. But like all the other games before this, I wouldn't really play this game very much, and again, you can see I've not, because in my opinion, it's a very boring game mode. Now we're moving on to the C tier. All the games past this point are games I would actually play regularly, or at least I would play by myself. These games past this point I would not consider boring, and I actually probably enjoy these games. So without further delay, in number 9 of the C tier is Just Build. Now the reason this is so low on the list is because I don't really enjoy building, but I can see why people would like this game mode, and I think they do. Prove me wrong, I guess. But yeah, apart from the fact that this game again might take a bit long, I think this game actually goes by pretty quickly if you know what you're doing, because building typically takes a longer time, and when you're building for 5 minutes, 5 minutes isn't really a lot. However, you can occasionally find stupid builds that are inappropriate, and then unfortunately they take the win, which I guess it just happens. But if we're sticking to the point of this video, this game mode it's a solid game mode after all. At number 8 we have Gravity. Gravity is essentially just a dropper, and I understand that some people will probably place this higher or lower, but the reason it's only number 8 for me is because I'm kind of bad at droppers. I understand why this game is fun and why people likes it. However, for me, I'm not good at dropper, so this map is basically just frustrating for me. So as you can see, I'm dying a lot, and obviously when that happens, you know, you tend to not like things that you're not too good at, and then therefore it's placed so low on my list. But I will fairly say that it's a decent game mode, therefore being number 8 on my list. Now moving on to the B tier of my list, these game modes are game modes that I would consider good. You know, obviously not the best, but also not bad. These are good game modes. And at the bottom of our B tier, we have Murder Mystery coming in at number 8. Number 7, sorry. And the reason why this game mode is placed here on my list is because though I like it and it's fun, and obviously it's Murder Mystery, it's just a decent game mode in general, the game can take a bit long because all you're doing really is running around for 5 minutes. However, obviously if the game ends before then it ends before then. But as well as that, another bad part about this game mode is that with so many people being in a lobby, it's extremely difficult for you to get any type of special role, being sheriff or murderer. So most games you're running around as an innocent, which can get boring if you're playing it over and over again. However, my point still stands that this game I could probably play a few times and not get bored of it. Number 6 on my list, again in the B tier, is going to be Skywars Kits. The reason Skywars Kits is only number 6 is because it feels like Skywars, but it's more OP. And I think a lot of people will agree with me that it's not as fun or not as good, you know, to say the least, as normal Skywars, because seeing that it has not even half the players that normal Skywars has. And normal Skywars is just more fun, really. With all these OP things you get with Skywars Kits, it can drag out the game quite a bit when normal Skywars matches tend to last only a few minutes. This, with kits, obviously, it doesn't last. Well, it lasts longer, which obviously, if it lasts too long, it becomes boring. But hey, since it's still at least a form of Skywars, I'm going to give it a high spot on the list because, well, I think Skywars is a fun game. And at the top of my B list comes Treasure Wars at number 5 altogether. The reason why Treasure Wars is this high or this low on the list, it's because it gets repetitive. You basically do the same thing, and there's really no, there's not much changes in it. And also, I find that a lot of Treasure Wars players is quite sweaty at the game, and it takes away the general experience of it. But again, Treasure Wars is going to be one of my all-time favorites, and because, well, who doesn't love a bit of Treasure Wars from time to time? However, one thing I have to add is that if you asked me this before, if you asked me to make a ranking list for different game modes, Treasure Wars would definitely be top 2. But that's because, again, as I said, it gets repetitive. But before that happened, it's a fun game mode, and I really enjoyed it. Now, moving on to the A tier. These are the actual good games with no real downsides. And coming in at number 4, we have The Bridge. Now, the reason The Bridge is this high up on the list, because of the concept of it. I don't care what server it's in, if they have The Bridge, it's going to be one of my favorites. It's a really good, sweaty, I guess, PvP game mode. It's also skill-based, so you get put against people that's your own, well, level. The concept of it, I like, it's fun. And again, there's no real downsides. It doesn't get boring. And once you play it, I guess it gets quite addictive as well. It's not one of them games I join the Hive and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to be playing some Bridge today, because I typically forget about this game. But when you do play it and don't forget about it, I could be playing it for a while because it's a fun game. Moving in at number 3 on our list, and being second to last on our A list, will be Sky Wars. The reason why Sky Wars is so high on the list, well, it's an OG game mode. I think everyone likes a bit of Sky Wars. It's a PvP game mode, which automatically, in my opinion, makes it a bit better. Though I'm bad at PvP, I still enjoy a bit of Sky Wars. And the reason it's so far apart from Sky Wars kits is because, well, Sky Wars, it takes less time. I mean, it's a simple game. You finish it really quickly as well. Need I really say more? I mean, it's Sky Wars, and again, who doesn't love a bit of Sky Wars? It's a fun game, and yeah, you can really, unlike Treasure Wars, it doesn't get repetitive, because though it's sort of the same, as in you do the same thing, it's also different because play style is different. You don't just go for blocks and everything, because in every round of it, your loot from different chests, ores, and everything is different. This is a lot less repetitive than Treasure Wars, and because of that, it's definitely a better game, in my opinion. And second place on my tier list, which I think is severely underrated, is going to be Block Drop. This game is essentially TNT Run, and though it's not a PvP game mode, which I feel like that's probably the reason why not a lot of people play it, but though it's not a PvP game mode, I still think it's one of the funnest one out there, because this game, you can't exactly get boring as you're always doing something, because you have to move around. If you don't, you die. It's not really about there being too many sweaty people at it, really, because how this game turns out is completely based off of you. And also, this game, I don't think there's many downsides to it. Sure, it gets a bit boring after some time, like most other games do, but this game, it is fun, really, in my opinion. I'm not the best at PvP, therefore the top 2 are not PvP games, but this game is high up on my list because of that. There's no really negatives about this game, in my opinion, but yeah, it's a fun game that I enjoy to play. And finally, on my A+/S tier, and being number 1 best game mode in the Hive, in my opinion, is going to be DR Death Run. Because though this game, again, I feel like is severely underrated because there's only 700 people on it compared to, say, build with thousands. Nonetheless, this is still going to be one of my favorite game modes. This game does not take long, as in, because, okay, it says it's a 5-minute game, which, though that may be true, it's all completely dependent on you. If you take long, this game's gonna... My point is, this game doesn't take long because you can play it, beat it really quickly and easily, because it's just running for a minute as long as you're decent at this game. And the reason this is the best game in my opinion is because I feel like this game has no real downsides to it. It's addictive. I can play it for, you know, hours. I can play this game for ages and not get bored. And especially recently, this is the game that I usually log on to and just warm up with, because you could really get used to this game. It's my favorite game mode by far, definitely. So that's it. That's my tier list. Remember, this is all my own opinion, obviously. Don't take anything here too seriously. But if you have disagreements because you think I've unfairly rated a game mode way too low, yeah, please do tell me. Apart from survival games, because I feel like I'm the only one who would put it that low. But yeah, that's my completed tier list for every Hive game mode. So as always, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and then I will see you next time. Goodbye.